So y'all know it's not a miss.
Miss. Damn.
So that's cool.
It's alive!
What's going on, guys? I got a drift event tomorrow, and I try to upgrade a little something every time, or change something every time I do a drift event. Hopefully it makes me a little bit better every time, and then eventually I'll be like really good. So today we're gonna be installing a handbrake extension. I don't have a hydro, so this will work. This is a very cheap option. I think it was 50 bucks, and I got it from SumBitch Racing. I saw one for sale locally for like 20 bucks, and I tried to snag it. Didn't really plan on buying one. Didn't even know this really existed. You know, I'm new to drifting, and but it sold. So then I had to look it up, and I saw they were only 50 bucks anyways, brand new. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and get one of those before my next event. Not really great with handbrake extensions anyways. Never really tried it, so I don't know if I'm actually going to use it or not. But let's go ahead and install it, because seriously, it's going to take like 2 minutes. So why not? So install is going to be super simple. This literally just slides right over your factory E36 e-brake. Now, before you do that, you got to pull the old cover off, and there's a plastic handle that's usually pretty hard to come off, but for me, luckily, it looked like it was already cracked, so it just kind of came off in at the same time as the cover. So I didn't have to do anything there, so thank God, because I think this is pretty hard to pull off by itself. I think it's like glued in there like crazy, so you might have to fight with it, twist it back and forth until eventually it comes loose. The other thing you got to do, you got to remove the button so it doesn't lock when you pull it up. So to do that, that's super simple. You just twist it counterclockwise, and eventually it will come apart. Make sure your car is in gear, because that's how you'll be holding the car in place from now on, because you do not have a e-brake with a locking button anymore if you're going to use this. And this, all this does is it has 2 set screws. You see the holes on the side? This literally just slides right over the front of this, and that's where to go. You put the set screws in there. SumBitch Racing sends you set screws. They're in a tiny bag, and you use little Allens and set them in place, and there you go. You have a e-brake extension. So it should be real easy to pull your e-brake. Now I am going to tighten this because this is pretty loose. So I'm going to tighten these also, but I'm going to set it in place first and then see where I like it, because I don't know if I'm about to use straight up or at an angle. Looks like straight up will work, because I do have a longer shifter. So when I go to second gear, it actually doesn't touch it at all. So that's kind of perfect. So I might be, can I go to reverse? Oh, I can't go to reverse. Oh, okay. So going to reverse is going to be an issue. So I'm actually, I think I'm going to tilt it a little bit, like about there, and then that way I can still go to reverse. So I'm glad I checked that. I've been feeling stupid if I had it right there and I couldn't move it. So yeah, a little bit of an angle. It'll still pull up the same way. So let's put it in place, and then I'm gonna tighten these in a second. Allen, it's a very small size. It is 3/32, I think is the size. Yeah, 3/32, and like I said, it's very tiny. And I literally just twist it in there, and when it tightens, it will hold it in place. So let me find where I want it to be. Reverse is good right here. Go a little bit. That should be good right there. So I'm gonna tighten it in place about right here. I can always move it. All I gotta do is just loosen the screw and then tighten it wherever I need to, but that should be a good spot for it. And just like that, set screws are in. Like I said, it is actually installed. Like I said, it would take 2 minutes. So I can go in reverse, not hit my shifter, and I still have room to pull up and do whatever I need to do. Now, like I said, I'm going to tighten these because I want my e-brake friction to start earlier. I don't want to pull all the way up there before it actually starts to do anything. See how loose it is right here? Now, that's okay if you're like locking into, park the car, but no, bro, I need you to start a little bit earlier. So I'm going to tighten these. These are a little tricky and annoying to tighten. They're actually weird sizes. That's a size 12, the big one, and the small one is a size 9. What you have to do is put a wrench on the bottom one, the 12, and then you take a 9 socket, tall socket, and you loosen the top one while holding that in place, and then you can loosen that up, and then you could tighten that one, because when they're together, you know, it holds it to here. So if you twist it now, it's just going to twist the whole line and it's not going to do anything. So you have to loosen the top one first, and then that's not even all the way tight, but you have to loosen the top one first and then back it up a little bit, then you tighten the bottom however you need to, and then you lock it back with the small one. So let me do that real quick. I don't have enough hands to hold a camera and do all that, so be with you in a second. All right, now I went ahead and separated these two nuts. You see this one, like I said, this one goes forward, this one, and now that it's loose, I can tighten it just by twisting it. I can use a socket too, but you can see I can tighten it by hand, and the further I go down, the tighter it gets. I gotta do it on both sides. There's two sides over here, so twisting both of them until they get super tight. See, it's a little bit more grab already, so I'm gonna keep going because I want it a little bit tighter than that. And bam, all the bolts are tight. We're good now. And super tight. Look, that is way tighter than it was before. And I feel like I should actually do something, so done. So there you go, super simple, right? That's how you install the SumBitch E36 handbrake extension. Now I didn't even know about SumBitch Racing until I bought it off eBay. I was searching eBay for handbrake extension. I found it, I bought it, and it wasn't until I checked my email after like paying on PayPal and all that stuff, and it said your payment to SumBitch Racing LLC is complete. And I'm like, who? That cracked me up. So then I found out later he actually has an E36 drift car with an Instagram page, SumBitch 36, and he also has a body kit. So maybe in the future I can have me a SumBitch E36. So, but I got to get better first. So let's go test drive this thing. I want to see if it locks up. Like I said, I don't know if I'm actually going to use it at the track. I tried not to use Ebrake, but if I need it and I can learn how to actually use it, then it'll help. So let's go drive it. Actually, sorry, before I do that, I need to remove my rear sway bar. So I got recommendations by some other experienced drifters, and they said go ahead and just remove your rear sway bar. I guess that makes the rear end a little bit softer, because it is on very stiff max speeding rods, coilovers that came with them, and they bounce a lot. So I'm hoping that will help, because that does kind of make me spin out a lot. So I'm going to remove my rear sway bar and do a bolt check while I'm under there, and then we'll be good to go. Wait a minute, I'm an idiot. I didn't know I can. Okay, so I just went to the other side and, you know, dropped the shock mount, and then that, you know, that 13mm bolt. I've never removed a sway bar before, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, and I didn't look up how to do it. I figured it had to be a couple bolts. I just figured out that I could have did that without dropping a shock bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and teach y'all, since so you don't have to make the same mistakes I do. So that is the top, right, with that little 13mm bolt. I released the two on the outside, you know, to just basically skip that step, but then I later did that step on that side. I didn't know I could just reach it from the top. So here is where I took them apart, and then you can take a ratcheting wrench and you can actually reach up here and put your bolt right here on the top, and it will actually loosen from up here. Let me put it in place and I'll show you. So yeah, now I'm right on top of that bolt, and there you go. With a ratcheting wrench, I can literally loosen that thing from the top. Damn! I did so much extra work for no reason. And there you go, I got it. It was up there, and literally just ratcheting wrench on the 13 at the top. And I got it off without dropping anything, and that's where it went. Wow. Well, you live and you learn. And then you take the knowledge that you learn and you teach somebody else. So I learned the hard way for y'all. So you need to remove a sway bar. It's easy, super easy. I know that now. All right, it's getting a little dark. It's time for a test drive. I don't know where my GoPro head mount is. I had it and I lost it. So I just put the mount on my helmet. So I'm gonna have to drive around with the helmet on for a minute. Might as well get used to it because that's what I'm gonna be wearing tomorrow. So yeah, let's go for a test drive. So I bought this little tire inflator pressure monitor system from Wish, and I thought it was a pretty cool idea that it would like tell me what my tire pressures and everything are. It's like sitting there the whole time. The tire pressure sensor, or it's solar powered. You put this up in your dash. You know, you always have power to it. You see, it actually shows your tire pressure on all four corners. It also shows the temperature, which I was not expecting that. It's solar powered, so you know it charges in the sun. But it's so cheap that I left it in the car and it kind of exploded. Everything is so, it doesn't work. It died in the sun, so that's kind of pointless. All right, I just want to turn and hit the brake, see what happens. I go on this one. It doesn't lock up that hard. It definitely needs a little bit more adjustment, but yeah, it definitely needs some more adjustments. Oh, okay, there we go. Maybe I need adjustments. Like I said, I've never used an e-brake before. Knowing when I pull this, I got to pull the clutch, obviously, so you know it's not muscle memory. So it's kind of like you pull this, obviously put the clutch in, and then it kind of like a clutch kick, so it sits you sideways, and then you clutch kick out of it. Yeah, it takes a minute to get used to, but. Probably works better if you're going faster, but you know, got curves. I'm nervous, but oh, messed that up. Well, I just want to see if it worked, and it worked. So thank you, SumBitch Racing. Maybe I'll try some tomorrow. Out of here. Well, I got an e-brake for practice tomorrow, guys. So thank you, SumBitch Racing. This thing is nice pickup for $50. So I will see you guys tomorrow.